Hello, here is Didi from my crochet project. I finally finished my Norwegian Wonderland blankets. I've attached all nine big squares to one blanket, as you could see at the picture. I only used the 90 squares, so the big ones, and the blanket is about 1.60 meter by 1.60. So it's quite huge, and I love it. It feels very soft, and the Winter Glow yarn is a very good product for this kind of stuff. Well, I will show you how to make the border. We still used the same colors as you use for your blanket, and I decided to make my border just white because, well, the blanket is busy enough with all the pattern shapes, the Norwegian shapes in it, so I thought a plain white border is probably the best. And for my blanket I use a double-sided border, and I will show you in this video how to do that. For the blanket I used a 5.55 millimeter hook, so I went 1/2 millimeter down for this border, so it's a 4.55 millimeter hook. Well, let's start. Well, to make the border, it's maybe more easy than you think it is, because for the border we just continue the rounds like we did in the square. So that means corner stitches in the corners of the total blanket, and then the blanket will grow. To make a double border, let's see that the last row, so the bind off row, is a little V, as you can see. I will zoom in a little bit, that's better. The bind off row is a V, so for a double border we will use the first leg of the V for the front border part, and the back one for the back corner, back border part. We make two, well, I think 5 centimeters or something like that is enough, at the front side and at the back side, and we'll attach it with such a row on top. Why do I make a double border? When you make a single one, it's thin, and when you put it down, you see it's that it's a little bumpy. When you make it double, you will see that it's very solid, and, well, I think it gives your blanket a little luxury or something like that. I learned to make double borders from the Icelandic Tina. She makes them at the mosaic blankets. For mosaic crochet it's necessary because you have all the ends at the sides and you want to envelop them in the border. It's not necessary here, I just like it. When you don't like it, or maybe you think it's too much work, just pick the whole V and continue making rounds as long as you want to make one single border. So again, I make a double one, but you're free to do whatever you want. My border will be white, so I start with the white stitches, and to start making the border we just pick up loops. So in every stitch we pick up a loop, and the corner stitches it's only possible to make them in the end. So just pick up loops like this, just how many your hook can get. And when you work with a hook with a cable, well, you can have plenty stitches at it. So just pick up stitches in the Tunisian way. So the first row, it's no need for corner stitches, just pick up the stitches, and when you think you have enough stitches, you put your work to the other side, turn it, and then exactly the same as making the squares. Make one little loop at it, and the first stitch, remember, is through one loop and all the other stitches through two. Remember? So as this is a very large square, a square of 1.60 m, we are a little busy before we worked around, but we will manage, and it's very relaxing to do because you don't have to think about a pattern or whatever, just go. Stop when you have 3 stitches at your hook and turn your work. So the first few are done, and I just continue doing this. So just using the front loop, so the back loop, we can use that one for the envelope border, the back part. So, well, all the way around, and well, I won't make a video of a few hours to show you what I'm doing. I'll be back at you when I have done the first complete round. See you later. So it took me 1 hour and a half, but the first round is done. So we can do the second round, and that is how I can show you how to do it. You know how to do it, but just it's like I said, it's the same way as we did the corner stitches and then all knit stitches all the way around. So this is the first stitch where we will make the corner. So we will do that just the same as all the other stitches. So the corner stitches, and then after that knit stitches just all the way to the other corner. And then it will look like this. So corner stitches, knit stitches all the way to the other side, the corner stitches over there, and we make rounds like this. I think I will make 5 rounds, and you see me back after 5 rounds. Okay, side 1 is done. Look at this. It's curling up a bit. Well, that's happening when you do one row, then you have to block it. But we are doing a double border, so it's no problem, because we are doing another one at the back and then close it up on top, so then it will be nice and flat. But I really like it. It's a bit tight, and that flattens the blanket a little bit. I did 7 rows. It was quite a job, I have to say. And the last row was the bind off row, like this, but well, I didn't show you. I will show you at the other part, but I think you already know now how to do that. Okay, first side is done. Now we're going to the other side. Okay, at the front we picked up the front loop of that bind off row, the bind off row of the big square. So these are all the front loops, and you see a nice pattern where that happened. Well, at the back we have some loops as well, and when you check that carefully, you see there's a loop at the inside. There are little V's here. Do you see that? A whole row of V's. Well, we don't take the V close to what we did at the front. We take the V next to it. So we leave one row in the middle. Do you know what I mean? So we don't pick up this one, we pick up these. And the first row is just picking up loops again. So don't worry about border stitches or whatever, just picking up loops. And the first one in the corner, because we have we've weaved in, we have woven in, I don't know what is the past tense of that word, but we did weave in the ends, so the first stitch is a little bit hard to find. I take this one, that's more easy. So just pick up loops, there it is, and look carefully which one I take, not this one but the one next to it. So not this one, the one next to it. When you got the hang of it, you know which one to take. So the V's, and then the most down side loop of the V. Just pick up stitches. Well, it doesn't matter how many rows you do for the border. I did 7, but well, when you think 3 is enough, or 5 is enough, or 10 is enough, it's of course your own choice what you like most for the border. So the first row, picking up stitches, is a little time-taking job, but when you have done this row, it's easy and you can continue with the knit stitches again. So just pick up a few before you think it's enough, and then we can attach the dark yarn. Just the same as we make the squares. Make a loop, turn your work, and you see here it should look like this, the picked up stitches and the row we left. Okay, remember the first stitch is pull through 1, and after that it's only pull through 2. Grab some yarn, pull through 2, grab yarn, I will show a few more after this. Okay, turn your work again and continue with picking up the stitches. Okay, so this first row, don't bother about corner stitches, they are not necessary. And when you have finished this row, the next row we do just the same as we did in the front, corner stitches and knit stitches in between. So we make the back exactly the same as the front. So an attaching row, 7 knit stitches rows, and then a bind off row, and I will show this bind off row at the back, and then we close it up and then we're done. So please continue, and I see you back after this job. So it's almost 2 weeks later, and I promised you to show you the bind off row. So this was the front, what we did before, and after that I did the 7 rows again at the back, and we are at the last part with the bind off row, so I will show you how I did that. To start the bind off row, you can see it here. We were here at the end of row 7. At the end of row 7 you make 1 knit stitch in the first stitch of the next line. So no corner stitches in the bind off row, just a normal knit stitch. And you take off the yarn just as long as you only have this loop at your hook, and then you start the bind off row. So you can pull all the dark yarn till here, and then cut it off because you don't need it anymore, and then it looks like this. So the dark yarn is completely in the corner, and the white yarn is the first knit stitch over here, and this is how you continue all the way around. I'm sorry, I'm still having a cold. And then I'm here, and from here I will show you how I make those bind off stitches. I grab some yarn because they are really very simple. You have the loop at your hook, you make just a normal knit stitch, and you get it through the first loop. That is all you're doing to make a very nice last row of your work. Well, you can make such beautiful things, but when you don't finish it proper, well, this took a really long time to complete this, but I think in the end it's more than worth it when it shows beautiful, and well, it looks far more beautiful when you do a quick thing to end your product, and well, when you're not happy with it, you won't use it, will you? And now it's a very solid and beautiful border. I'm really happy with how this looks. But as I said when I started the video, you can do this in a way you want. I don't mind when it takes a bit longer, but when you think it was enough, well, just a smaller border, or a smaller double one, or just a border with crochet stitches is fine as well, of course. Please be my guest, but I just wanted to show you how I finish my blankets. Actually, this is, I'm not sure I told you this before, but the double borders is what I've learned from the Icelandic Tina. She makes all her mosaic blankets with a double border, and well, I listened to her. I did it as well, and I think she's right when she says it's really, really beautiful. Well, as you can see, we are nearly at the end of the row. You continue all the way to the last stitch, and then you think it looks really funny, but well, we have a solution for that too. You can cut off the yarn, grab a needle, and I didn't put it here, so I have to grab it. It's nice to tell you, I have kind of a cockpit where I crochet. I have a separate room at the house. It looks like a bit of a garage next to the house, and that's my crochet room, or knitting room, because I'm doing some knitting recently too. And there's just the door to the living room, so I have my own place here with my own stuff. So I'm in. My husband always says you're in your cockpit, and working here. Well, not working, doing my hobby here. Okay, enough fun talk. We have to fix it because this doesn't look very nice. So this was the last stitch, and this is the first stitch, and all you do is insert your hook like this from bottom to top and make a same stitch as the other stitches. So a loop nearly the same size, then insert your hook in here. Maybe I have to zoom it a little to show you a bit better. So here, insert your needle, and in the back you see a lot of stitches, and actually it doesn't matter where you get your needle through, because this will be in between, as it's a double border, so you won't see it anymore in the end. Look at this, that looks really nice, doesn't it? So when you pull the stitch like this to close it and to fix it so it won't go anywhere, weave in the ends, and it's not very important how you weave in these ends, and you can cut it off with a long tail as well, because these ends are just in between. And with just in between, I mean, zoom out, I mean, it's, here are the ends, and as we have a double border, we just lay the ends flat and close the border like this, so the ends will all be in between, as you can see. This really, really, really looks beautiful, doesn't it? So now what we're doing is closing the front and the back, and I will show you how I do it. But first we place some stitch markers, because I want to be sure that when we close it, the lines will continue. So what I do is I place just a few stitch markers, the first in the corner and in the corner of the other side, like this. And then I find my first tile, that's here. There I place a second stitch marker. My first square, that's the word. You see where we have joined the squares, there are two lines, and I grab the first line of those two. And when I look at the other sides, there are the two lines as well, and I take the first as well. So that's this stitch. So then I'm sure when I'm here, the border is in line with the rest. Then I find the middle and I make a third. I'll put a third stitch marker in it, because the middle is also good to find, just like an arrow, isn't it? This is the middle, so when I continue it's just the way up, then I see this is the middle stitch. Am I right? Yes, I'm right. So this is the middle one, and when I check the other side, here's the arrow again, the middle, and this is the line in the middle. You see a little point? It's this stitch. So I had inserted my stitch marker, and now I have to reveal it. Yes, it's here, and it was this stitch. So again, that one and that one. Yes, correct. So we have placed 3 stitch markers. Well, you can place more if you want to, but it's, well, maybe it's a little bit hard to find, but with 3 it is okay when you're closing it. I use the same hook, and the only thing we are going to do is making slip stitches, so I will show you. I forgot to tell you, and I did it wrong, that it's important you have the right side in front. So I placed the stitch markers again with the right side facing me. I hope you're not living in a very hot country, because you have the complete blanket at your lap, and it's a wool one, mine, so it's very warm. But here it's cold and windy, so for me it's perfect. I like making blankets in the winter, because you don't have to take a little blanket. You already have the blanket at your lap. Okay, the first stitch, well, I get the stitch marker out because then you can see it better. We only use the back loop, or yeah, is that the back loop? The second loop. We don't use the whole stitch, we only use this one, and at the other side we only use this one. So maybe showing you is better than telling you. So I grab my yarn, I insert my hook in the back loop, and then I find my place to start at the other side at this first stitch, and I take the back loop as well. So I have 2 loops at the hook. I grab my yarn and get it through. I told you we are just making slip stitches to close it because, well, that looks very nice. Second one, insert your hook, and in the beginning, when you start in the beginning, you have to find the loops. When you start a work, it's always a bit difficult, isn't it, to find your way? But when you are busy with this and got the hang of it, well, it goes quicker and quicker. But for the start, just slow the back loop at the other side, the back loop as well. I'll make another one with the camera a little closer. So the back loop, and a pointy hook is very nice for this. And the back loop. Again, the back loop and the back loop, and pull the yarn through. So all the ends you have here, just lay them flat in between, or you can make them weave them in and cut them off, whatever you want. But well, I have so much extra work, I just leave them in the back loop. You see what I mean? Just continue like this, and it makes a really, really, really beautiful closure. I will show you after a few stitches. You see, when you have made a few, it's more easy. Take the same hook. Mine is a 5mm, the same 4.5 I had at my hook, but I take the big one to close this because slip stitches tend to have no stretch, and Tunisian work has no stretch as well. So when you make them too tight, well, it's not very nice. See what we are doing? Oh, that is too far. Very nice, isn't it? So it's a nice, thick, solid border. I make a few more, and then you continue with this just all the way around. You don't need to make corner stitches, just one slip stitch in every stitch. And how we started, it's important to place the stitch markers every now and then so that you're sure that the back is at the same place as the front. So when you come here and you miss 1 or 2 stitches, well, don't frog 2 stitches at the same time. So I should spread that, but most of the time it's just 1 stitch or something different, and well, you can just frog it. But when you don't do this and it doesn't match anymore, and you have in the end 10 stitches not at a good place, well, you certainly will see that. But frogging 1 or 2 stitches, I'm sure you won't see it. So please continue with this. And well, you see me back at the end one more time to weave in the last ends, and then the blanket is done. So see you back there in a minute, I hope. I can't wait till I am completely around. Look at this. I'm so happy with this. See how beautiful this is? I'm I'm talking about my own work, but I want to show you. It's real nice. So we continue. This was the first square, so only how many? 8 squares to go. I wanted to show you the completed blanket, but that's impossible with this one. What are you doing, Minnie? What are you doing? What are you doing? Look, I want to show you the border. I wanted to show you the border. Look, this is what we did. It's very, very, very nice. All the way around. Beautiful corners. Yes, check the corner, Minnie. So my intention was to put the blanket flat, but as you can see, someone messed it up. But well, doesn't matter really. I just want to show you the border. Look, all the way around. The corners are really beautiful. So please don't look at the blanket bubbles, but look at the corners. I hope you like it as much as I do. Look, the back is quite the same. So the Winter Wonderland, the Winter Wonderland is done. I hope you will finish this one too, and you will like it as much as Juliana and I did. We really liked this project of 2024, and well, by making this it's done. We have plans for next year. Next year there will be another project, and it will be a Norwegian one too, so we look forward to that one very much. Well, say goodbye, Minnie. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. The project for next year will be a Norwegian inspired one too, but it will be a stranded Tunisian. You can knit it and you can do it in the normal Tunisian way. There will be videos and, well, actually just the same as this year. So I look forward to that one very much. And I say goodbye with this mess. I'll put a picture at the last shot of the video, the result is. I hope you liked it. Again, thank you very much, and I hope to see you back soon. Bye bye.